Are you struggling with the idea of doing online dating? Even the thought of it scares you. So you've put it off and put it off, but you know that because that's the only way you're going to meet someone. If you're not out and about and seeing everybody on a regular basis, or even just out to the grocery store or out going to church, you're not going any place where you're going to meet people. So online dating is something that you know you probably need to do. Well, today is our Saturday morning question of the week, and we are going to be talking about online dating. And you'll hear the question in just a minute. But first, I usually like to read a success story from one of my readers, and I'll share that with you in just a second. The question I'm going to be reading is coming from response to a video that I posted about my engagement proposal that happened at the end of last year. And I did post a video, put a video up and shared it with everybody how the proposal went. My now fiance had set it up that somebody was going to be videotaping it, even though I didn't have any idea what was going on. And so I will link that in the description, that video, so you can watch that if you're interested. And so in response to that video, and just kind of as a highlight, I met my guy online. And so this question is kind of in response to that. Thanks for sharing. Love your proposal. It was so cute. I met my guy online too. I was online for a while and I did give up. One of my coworkers told me to get back on and go on the site she met her husband on, and without any expectation. I spoke to him first and he responded. I used to have all these rules from what women are supposed to follow. I have learned at my age in my 50s to reach out because I didn't want to miss out on any opportunities. That's great. I this kind of brings up some thoughts about a couple of videos that I've done in the past, and one of them is about how we need to ditch some of the rules that we have for dating. And I think those are some of the things that keep a lot of not just women but men too from moving on and dating someone who's perfect for them. They're trying to stick to all the old rules that they knew when they were younger, and I don't even think the younger people nowadays follow rules the way that we used to. And so this the video was about that, and I love that she was willing to take that chance. How are you going to know how somebody's going to respond unless you try? And you've got nothing to lose, really, especially if it's somebody that you're just meeting. You've maybe talked to them a couple times. You'll just know exactly where you stand with that person. It's nothing bad, nothing good, but if you don't take that chance, you never take a chance of getting a yes. Guys, you've got the same problem. If you meet somebody that you are attracted to and you like them, then find a way to at least exchange your contact information. And then you can go home and think about it for a while and then reach out by text or with a phone call and say, hey, I really enjoyed our conversation we had when we met, and I would love to get together for coffee and get to know you better. It doesn't have to be a big production, nothing scary. And all they can say is, well, no, I should have mentioned it, but I have a boyfriend or I have a fiance or whatever. Or they could say, sure, I would love to. You never know until you ask. So, up next is our question of the week. And this question is also in response to online dating video that I did earlier. And there's were comments kind of intermingled after that video and about questions, people that were having difficulty online. They didn't like doing online dating. And this person's letter came then. Difficult indeed. I really need a companion, and in my area, there are no clubs for singles. I don't know of any good dating site. Can anybody help me out, please? So that's our question, Saturday morning question of the week. And to start off with, there is something that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned. Every metropolitan area in the US, anyway, and I'm sure there's some overseas as well, they have groups called meetups. And if you just go online and type in meetup.com, it's just one word, meetup, meetup.com, and you should pull up a list of groups in your area. They've got different types of meetup groups for everything. They've got one for wine tasting, They've got one for groups that like to go dancing. There's hiking groups. There's walking groups. You can pretty much find anything, any type of meetup group. And each of these groups has an individual leader that you just send a message to and you can get connected. And just make sure that when you do put in meetup.com that you search for your area, wherever you live, and they'll tell you what the groups are in your area. But that's another thing I wanted to bring up about ways to meet people, because then you're meeting people with common interest. Especially if you don't like to drink wine, then you probably won't want to go to the wine one. You want to find something that you like, and even cooking, even any of those things. Find something that you enjoy, and then look for a meetup group that corresponds to that. So now on to the rest of this question that I just read about online dating being difficult. And one thing I want to say first of all is you have to be ready to do online dating. You need to feel good about yourself. You need to be willing to go through a lot of people. You've got to know what you want, and also be able to have fun with it. Not take it so seriously. And I've talked about that a lot in some of my other videos. And this dating is, we take it so seriously and we get so emotional about it, and we think about the outcome before the outcome actually even happens. Your mind, all of us, we got that little idiot in our head that's always telling us, we come up with an idea of something new we want to do, and it talks us out of it. And that's just how what our brain does, or our subconscious does, to protect us. And so you got to step out of your comfort zone sometimes. And if you're excited and thinking about that online dating might be for you, and you keep letting yourself talk yourself out of it, then maybe this is exactly, you're the one I'm talking to. So you've got to be ready, both emotionally and physically, I'll have to say, because you're gonna have to go through, I don't want to say quite a few people. Some people find their perfect date right away after just going through a couple different people, but some it takes a little bit of time, and you just have to look at it as a fun way of meeting people that you normally would not meet otherwise. Now, I'm gonna go back real quick and just reiterate that. People think that, if I just go out in my neighborhood and walk or do whatever, and I know people who have met their guys that way. I do have a friend of mine who, she walked her dog every day, same route. Never saw this one guy until one day he was out walking at the same time. He had a dog, they met, and they've been together now for, I believe, about 8 years. And they were a perfect match for each other. She was so excited and just was just amazed that she could meet somebody just out walking her dog. But that doesn't always happen. And to give an example of that, so in one of my other videos, I mentioned that, David and I met online. But before we met online, I had lived across the street from him for 2 years. Found that out after we started talking online and figured out what our addresses were and the neighborhood we lived in. And so we lived across the street from each other for 2 years and never met. He had a weird work schedule, and I had just your average daytime schedule. So it just didn't, jive. So it took online dating for us to meet. And that's our story. And but I encourage everyone to not just pick one way of getting out there. Get out and about in your community. If you have a dog, get out and walk your dog. Go and different events. You've got art festivals and all kinds of stuff. We're coming into spring now, where lots of outdoor stuff is happening. And just get out and about. And as I mentioned in the last short video that I did, when you go out of the house to go to the store, make sure you get some lipstick on. And if you wear lipstick, and if that's what makes you feel good, and a little eyeliner or something, whatever you put on in the morning that makes you feel like you like yourself, makes you look good. And when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you usually have a smile on your face, and that's going to attract people. So you never know when you're going to meet that person that is looking for you. All right, so now back into the dating sites. She wanted to know about what are the best places, what are the best dating sites. And David and I met on Tinder, and that was the most successful site for me. I liked it because everybody that I swiped right on, that I liked, and if they did the same to me, the system would match us. So I knew that if the system matched us, that we were both on the same page, that we liked each other. And then you at least could get that nervousness out of the way of, oh gosh, if I reach out first and I don't know what this guy's thinking, if he's even interested, and with Tinder, you knew that if the system matched you, that this person liked you as well. So you knew you're at least that step had one step forward on that. So I like that system. Now, a lot of people that I know I've met on Match.com just takes a little bit more work in communicating with people, sending out, either hearts or likes, or, I'm not sure how that system works. I didn't do Match.com. But I did do Christian Mingle, which was the site I did not like the most. And by that, the reason for that is there are lots of I met probably 5 people on that site who were across the country from me, and whether they were real or not, I'm not sure. They all seemed to have just the perfect profiles, great communicators, but they didn't seem real. And the fact that they were way across the country is, that kind of was a deal breaker for me, even though I had set my parameters for finding somebody close in proximity to where I lived. So that I just didn't have a good experience with that. Now, if I had stuck with that longer, maybe I would have, kind of sifted through and met somebody. But one of the sites that I've heard it has the most success is eHarmony. Now, eHarmony is going to cost a little bit more money from what I've seen. I did go on the site and looked at the different prices, but I encourage you to go on and check them all out. You can find out what it's going to cost you before getting involved, but you just check the prices and see what you get for those prices. But eHarmony, it's very, very intensive questionnaire, and they are matching you through an algorithm that they have, and they're looking for somebody that you match with. There's a word I'm not thinking of, but anyway, they have a program that matches you, and it's detailed. And so when you do match with somebody, usually you've got a lot of things in common. All right. And so that can take some of the guesswork out and some of the time out of the process. And so if that's what you're interested in, then eHarmony might be the perfect site for you. So those are 3 that I know of. And I said by 3, I'm pushing Christian Mingle off to the side, and the one that I tried was Tinder. And I know Match.com has worked for friends of mine, and then also eHarmony. So think about those. Go online. You can pull those up and do all your research. Also, you can go and get reviews. Go on Google and just say, send me, or I want to see a review on eHarmony. I want to see a review on Match.com or on Tinder, and just see what people have to say about those different sites. And you can pull up reviews on on anything on Google. So take your time and do that, but just know that you have to be ready to start dating, because you want to be in a good place in your head where you're confident in who you are, because you're going to want to go out and enjoy the process, have fun with it. And I think that was one of the reasons why it was successful for me. Is I was in a place back then where I was excited about meeting new people. I didn't have a lot of the outcome wasn't so I didn't have any outcome in mind that I was looking for other than meeting new people. And so I think that's why it worked. I had fun with it, met some great people, and I'm still friends with a couple people that I met back then. And then, of course, I met my new fiance, David. So check that out. Hopefully, what I've shared has helped someone, but it's just, the dating site only works if you work it. All right. And you've got to take the time to do it. You can't just put your profile up and expect that Prince Charming is going to reach out and contact you. You've got to put some effort into it, but just keep it light, keep it fun, and you'll find the person that you're looking for. So thanks again for joining me on It's Never Too Late to Date. And we are the channel about dating after the age of 60. And please like and subscribe and share this information with anyone that you think might benefit from it. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.